today's episode of Hunked Out Race, and we're going to be cutting a lot of holes in this bed here. We got to be able to fit our fill neck through it and our roll cage piece that we made for it. So we'll be cutting a lot of holes in her. And we got to cut these fender wells up a little bit so we can fit the booty mates inside of it. So we just got to cut some more holes in this turd.
If anybody knows why it's called Scrappy, this is why. 50 years worth of holes, rust. She's a real beauty. That's why we kind of left it the way it was, because this truck was never going to be a show truck, so that's why we did what we're doing to it. So we're cutting a couple more holes in it. Soon this thing will only be maybe 50 pounds when we're done.
Alright, let's get right into it.
I'm on the rocks, guys.
Butthole.
So we just finished up trimming all the holes up and getting everything neat and all put together, and we got the bed put on the track. It looks awesome on here. It fits perfect. We had to file down the holes a little bit, and we totally messed up the first holes we drilled. We just made it from the cab mount that goes there and went straight up, and we had to go over for the crossbar. But other than that, it fits perfect in there. We got maybe 1/4 of an inch on the inside, and same thing on both sides. But it looks really good on here. Finished all the glass. We got the front windshield put in today, and we got the guys coming back out tomorrow to put the rear glass in it. So let's get right to it.
All right, today at Hunked Out Racing, we got it on the ground. I think it looks pretty killer. Stance is exactly what we were looking for. Got most of the glass in. I'm still waiting for the guy to cut the rear glass. We got the exhaust all done. I got about 90% of the wiring all complete. We got some swag. I don't know if you checked it out. Nice hats, cool killer shirts. If anybody's checked out any of this stuff. But Connor's trying to work on a website, get some of this stuff out there for people to buy. So like and subscribe on our video also. Got the fans wired in. I put the front clip on. The inner fenders we cut. We got plenty of room for these big meats. All the wiring I ran up and underneath here. Oh, we got our throttle linkage all hooked up. We got the water bypass. I had a big goofy hose on there before just to get this thing started, so I got that little bypass hose. Like I said, we got the fans wired in. I got some more wiring to do for the rear section. I got a catch can that we got to put on for the radiator. We got most of the grill put in. We're going to be building a roll pan for the front of this. I'll be cutting some holes in this because it's our power steering cooler. But we're going to be cutting the frame off right here to install that roll pan. It won't have a front bumper. But everything's cleared pretty good. All our coolers cleared, the radiator. So all that stuff's the grill, it's gonna fit in there perfect. I gotta put the lights in and all that good stuff. Windshield's in. And now we're coming back here and we're working on the battery and the battery disconnect. We placed it over to this side just for weight purposes. Might have to move it again later on. I'm not really positive. I'm gonna see if we can borrow a friend of mine's scales after we get it done so we can scale the truck and figure out where it's heavy and where we can add some weight or take away something or move the battery around. So I don't know if you get close to this stuff, hop in here. But if you look down in here, look at the bed, you can kind of see daylight pretty much everywhere. When we got this truck, the guy that sandblasted this, the previous guy, never sandblasted a car before. And when you sandblast sheet metal, it gets hot and it warps. So that's how this thing became scrappy. It's also from a previous build, a lot of parts off of my Jeep, the drag Jeep that I built for sand. And so that's why it's became scrappy. We left it its old look and we made it more of a rat rod, kind of pro touring. It's different, and that's what we like here at Hunked Out Racing. Something that's just not perfect, but it has a lot of awesome shit on it.
So this is the finished product on the exhaust. We got it coming out the side of the bed here. We got our nice China muffler on both sides. It goes into an X pipe and then up into the headers, and we heat wrapped the header here so it wouldn't go next to the transmission and get all the linkage too hot. And the headers come up into the lock. That looks really good. The exhaust came out perfect for using the muffler or an exhaust system that's for a C10. We made it work perfect to work on the Fords, come right out the side of the bed there and let it rate.
Yeah, that exhaust is from Speed Engineering. It's for a 70s C10, the headers, everything, the whole kit. But we made it work. That's perfect. It's for a 4L60 transmission, but it's
squeezes
behind
right,
the power glide, no problem.
Squeezes right by the drive shaft, just barely.
This is some quality stuff. If anybody's looking for an exhaust system that is well quality, call up the guys at Speed Engineering. You will not be disappointed. I mean, if you take a look at these TIG welds around these mufflers, I mean, the X pipe, you know, this is exactly how an X pipe is supposed to be made. I've seen so many that the pipes are crushed together so much right here, and you kind of actually lose volume in this area. You don't want that. You want, it's a very small chamber here to divide to balance the both banks of the engine. You don't smash them together and create a giant hole right here. They did it exactly how I would do it if I was building my own. Everything's clearance really good. It's tight along the floor here. We dyno mounted the floor, but I also wrapped this and keep it away from the shift linkage here. I had to make my own bracket because it's really close, and that's why we wrapped this side. Keep the heat away from everything. This side's got enough air gap through it, should be fine. And the exhaust was designed to turn here at another 45, and the muffler was supposed to be here, and it was an axle dump, supposed to dump right here. But for me, if you can't see the exhaust coming out the side of the truck, it sounds like a truck that has no exhaust on it. So to me, it has to come out somewhere to be finished. So we made it fit in here. We mounted the mounts up in here. We used the 45s to make it go straight, and those are the tips. This is what I cut off. That one's a little shorter than the other. Because remember, on the Ford, the engine's offset to one side, so one system's a little bit longer than the other. Even on the Chevy, the headers are actually staggered a little bit. So one side's a little bit longer than the other, so they made up for it in these pipes right here. This one's, yeah, this side's longer than this side if you look at the headers. So it equaled it back out. We got it to fit. So if anybody's curious about their system, it's pretty universal on these old trucks.
So I think that's a little bit of a wrap for now. I'll be making a website later on this week, so y'all can buy some merch. Just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, And I'll see you later, Stinky.